Hello viewers and welcome back to the East Manchester experiment. We are getting towards the end of this save as mentioned, but this is fizzling out as a season so much. You can see we've had such an up and down time of things recently that I just felt that, to be honest, I'm finding it difficult to play this game. You can see we're easily safe, we're not going down. The chances of us going up now are minute. It's not impossible, but we would have to win almost every game now, and I just don't see it happening. So actually it's going to be a slightly odd video because I'm not going to play a game today. I apologise for that, but I just felt that there's not going to be a game that really matters, so why worry about that? I'm going to do a little bit of a sort of a recap of how things have been going so far, and I'm intending that probably we will have one more season, so we'll have an end of season review. Just where we go through mainly, I think it will mainly be signings, so the end of the season review may well be one that spans the end of the season and the beginning of the next season, and just looking at where things stand. As you can see, squad is really as it was before. Attacking wise, we're looking pretty good. The wingers both doing quite well. Chaz Casey Akinola, Joanne Smith and Troy Whitcomb all doing really well. Ryan Smith has been fantastic, brilliant signing, possibly my best signing ever, because he didn't. He wasn't like an obvious one. Like not Joanne Smith. Troy Whitcomb was an obvious one. He was obviously going to improve the team. But with Ryan Smith, I'm not sure it's quite as obvious, and I feel like it's worked out so well that as a signing. He didn't look brilliant last season. He didn't do badly, but he didn't look brilliant this year. He's really stepped it up and has become absolutely crucial to the way that this team plays. It does mean that I'm in a position where we might be able to improve things next season, and if we do have one more year, which I think is likely, because I'm going to wait until the database for down at this level in FM20 is properly ready before moving on to my next game. Then at least that gives us a little bit of a base. But I am, as you can see, pretty concerned, particularly about my fullbacks. Now, one option is to revert back to the three defender formation that I had last season, and I am definitely thinking about that. It would mean that we'd need someone like probably Narbiggles Townsend to step up, and obviously he hasn't yet. He's a new signing, by the way. We obviously have Harry Waterhouse as well, but he's no longer really a proper player, I don't think, at this level. I'm obviously, as you can see, still looking for players who will still improve the team, but I think the more I think about it, the more I think a move back to a three centre back formation may well be a good idea. I don't know how that happened. I just switched those two over. That said, even the centre backs aren't doing brilliantly, so I can't claim that anything's going well in the defence really. So that's where things stand at the moment. Next season, if we do it, it will be a case of really trying to push for the playoffs. I think we're not going to make it this season, but next season I would want to. So that's where things are. Let me know what you think. I'd really like at this stage a few comments about, would you like to see one more season? Is that something that you'd like me to do, or would you like, if it becomes possible, would you like me to really push on and go into my next game? The other problem I have as well is I've caught myself up a little bit. I'm now recording these just the day before they're being published, so that's becoming a bit of a problem. Because it also means that I don't have a huge amount of time in between to play, because I'm actually working, and therefore it makes it very difficult. Last week I had a week off, so I had some time to kind of catch up on things. But I then had an operation on Friday, which knocked me for six for over the weekend. Really, I didn't play much, and then obviously back at work now, which makes things more difficult. It was a minor operation, by the way, nothing to worry about. Don't worry, I'm all fine now. In a bit of pain, but nothing serious at all. So yeah, that's where things are. I'm not going to bother playing a game today, just because there aren't any that make any difference. The season is pretty much over. If that changes, then again, as I said at the end of the last one, I will come back and we'll live com a game right at the end of the season. Particularly if somehow I manage to win them all. If I've won every game between now and even the beginning of April, perhaps, then maybe I'll come back and think about maybe even doing 4 live comms in a row. If it's looking like something that could suddenly become a promotion season. But that, I think, is extremely unlikely the way that things are going at the moment. You can see one point in the last 3 games and only 1 win in 5. It's not looking great for us at the moment. So yeah, that's where things are now. Let me know what you think about the team as well. If I am going to go on for another season, I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Chaz Casey, for example, is he going to be good enough? He's doing okay this season, but he certainly doesn't look like a standout player at this level. Troy Whitcomb clearly is, and Joanne Smith as well. He's been fantastic this season, and much better than I thought he would be. He was a player I really didn't think would step up, and for this level I think he's done very, very, very well. To get 19 goals in 33 games is very impressive. I mean, he's not Whitcomb, but he's not far off. Um, the other thing I meant to mention last game, this is what I've been saving this for the end, but I meant to mention this last game. You may have noticed there was a name missing, and it was missing in the last game as well. You're not very mad, and that's Brad Wild. This guy left us with for a significant amount of money for this level. I just felt he wasn't coping with the step up really. It was as simple as that. He'd been a brilliant player for us in the previous league, but at this level he just wasn't good enough. You know, to be getting an average rating of 7 as a defender, I think is very good in Football Manager. But that drop off there is just not. It's just too significant for me to be thinking about using him going forward. And that was a good sum of money for the kind of player that he was. I think you can see now he's only valued at 2.3, and I got 10,000 for him. And I think there were some add-ons on that as well. So I feel like did some really good business there. It's not going to make a massive difference going forward. The money is still, it's going away. That was obviously the takeover which cleared our debts, but it's going to keep going every year. And I don't know whether the board will make it up every year, but certainly it's going to be a long time now, I think, until we become profitable again. One of the lessons I'm going to learn from this is to go a lot easier on staff early in the game, because I think you can actually run the club on a bit of a shoestring without really costing yourself much, because the staff at that level are so poor that it's just not worth it, particularly scouts. And in the first couple of divisions, I think you get most of your players by getting trialists in anyway, and just completely hit and miss. You get some that are rubbish, you get your one that's great, and that will be the player that makes the difference for you. So I'm not intending to have a huge number of staff early on in my game next. You can see the balance is just going to keep dropping unless we have income. So yeah, that's where I am at the save. I can assume now that I won't have any more games in this save. I think it's probably looking this season. I think that's looking unlikely, but I think it is looking like we'll probably have one more season in this game. That could change if the database with the lower leagues does come out. This could even now be the last video, assuming that we just end the season somewhere around this kind of place in the table. I won't even bother doing another video, I don't think. If people want me to recap things like stats and things, I will, but I did that at the end of last season anyway, so you kind of have an idea of that. Troy Whitcomb obviously is coming up on the inside in terms of top goal scorer. He probably will catch him if we have one more season even. I'm trying to remember it was Smith, wasn't it, who was our top scorer? So he's got 52 now. Javan Smith has got, you see, he's got some goals this season as well, so he will be ahead again. He's had 24, 28, 48, 67. So I think Troy Whitcomb will probably catch him next season, but not this season. So that's probably going to be still Smith, and obviously Akinola was our leading assist taker, and he has got most this season as well. So he will be miles and miles ahead. The same goes for appearances. He's only got one fewer than Javan Smith this season, and he's miles ahead of him in terms of the total. So nothing's hugely changed really this season. The big bit of news really is Wild. He had 100 starts in the end, exactly 100 starts with three substitute appearances. I think he got the odd goal, didn't get many. Just check. Brad Wild. He had 2 goals for us, which is not a lot obviously, but spot on 100 starts for us. Those 3 substitute appearances, and he was for a couple of years he was a really good servant. I would say he goes down as one of the better defenders we had at this club. If we look at the club history and the best 11, we can see the overall best 11. He is there along with Lewis Morrison, which is probably fair enough. If you go back through the seasons, Wild and Morrison both in that one. Walton and Cleaver, they were both very good players, but you can see the average rating's a bit lower. Walton and Cleaver again, I think they can perhaps be a little unlucky not to be in the side at all. And Watkins and Ward in that season, I don't remember them. It's funny, there are some players who just don't really stick with you, isn't there? It's weird how that happens. Grieve was a very good, Matthew Grieve. He was one of my favourite defenders. I thought he was a very solid player at the level we were at in that first season. Obviously Harry Waterhouse, I think, is for me going to go down as my favourite player, even if he isn't necessarily going to be the highest goal scorer. I'd be really pleased to to say I think he has been my player this save. That could still change. You know, if things were to really change around this season, it may even be Whitcomb if he gets lots of goals and we manage to get promoted somehow. But at the moment, anyway, it's going to be Waterhouse, I think. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow, definitely. I'm going to make sure I keep doing videos. It may well be a game, it might be an end of season review, I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will make sure I keep doing videos. My feeling is it may actually be a game, so I'm not sure if I've got time to play the whole of the rest of the season between now and then, which means that it may well be a game. In which case it will just be a case of watching a game, this is what things are looking like at the moment, these are my tactics. Tactics is actually one thing I would like some thoughts on, because it may well be that I use something similar in the next game, so let me know if there are anything about my tactics you think is a bad idea, is a good idea, anything like that. Up front I've just been trying to pair two players with their best positions. Obviously there are some pairings that are just not going to work, but I feel like pressing forward and target man seems to work quite well, so I'm quite pleased with that. But yeah, I'd really like to know any feedback. I know there's a couple of people who have been watching these videos and commenting on them. Let me know what you think. I mean, if there's anything that I'm not doing quite right, I know, particularly tactically, I'm not the best player of Football Manager there is. I think I have strengths in squad management. I'm quite good at that. But in terms of tactics, I'm fairly kind of I'm not great, and it's something that I would like some pointers on, I suppose, from my lovely viewers, which I know I've noticed are starting to pick up now. I'm starting to have a few more viewers. Obviously, this is my first ever series, and it is, as the title suggests, it is just an experiment. My next one, I'm hoping, will be rather better. But let me know what you think. The other thing as well is if you know where I can get a logo pack for FM20 for these levels, then please let me know. I'm looking for one that actually works. As you can probably see, I have got one for this save, but it hasn't really worked. The East Manchester one was completely wrong. You've already noticed in the early stages of this video. So I'm hoping to find the logo pack that properly works for Football Manager, perhaps with kit packs as well, which would be lovely. So if anyone knows anything like that, please leave me a comment and point me towards it, and I will see you tomorrow for my next video.